Alright, ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys doing today on this Monday, October the 19th, 2020? Welcome to another metallic episode of Music of Destruction, bringing you guys the very best in metal-related content right here on YouTube. If you missed anything in the past couple weeks, click the eye in the upper right corner of the screen, get caught up on all my latest content. Yes, I haven't uploaded in a while, been very busy with other stuff. But also kind of wanted to take a break from YouTube just because of all the stuff that's been going on. I don't really want to talk about it on this channel, but me and my buddy Cream are thinking about starting a YouTube channel about what's really going on. It's going to be a channel on natural law and conspiracies, so we're thinking about doing that. Going to be doing a lot of different stuff here in 2021 coming up. Also, if there's anything you'd like me to review or cover, please drop it in the comment section down below and I will gladly consider reviewing it or covering it here on the channel. After all, I strive to provide value every time you guys decide to click and watch one of my videos. Welcome to Album Ranking Wednesdays right here on the channel. Yes, I'm 2 days early, but I got a lot of content planned for this week. I got 5 new albums in the mail. One I've already reviewed, Dio's Master of the Moon. There's 4 more coming in the next 4 weeks. But today I figured, time to do an album ranking. It's been a while. Metal Album Warfares, I know it's been a month since I put one of those videos out. That's coming back to the channel as well, so make sure you guys get excited for that. So, tonight's ranking is going to be on Twilight. Now, if you don't know who Twilight are, they were a black metal supergroup that formed back in 2004 that featured current and former members from Leviathan, Xasthur, Draugar, Nachtmystium, Krieg, and then after 2005 you had Isis, the Atlas Moth, Minsk, and Sonic Youth. Now, the band formed in 2004 and was originally commissioned by Total Holocaust Records, but later Southern Lord Records, so a collaboration of efforts for this album here. Malefic and Hildolf decided to leave the project after this album, but they ended the actual whole thing in 2014. I'm not sure why Malefic and Hildolf left the band. I do know that members of the band were not very happy, however, about working with Blake Judd, also known as Azentrius from Nachtmystium, because Blake was known for being a junkie and has ripped off a lot of labels through his Southern Lord record label. So, I mean, I guess I'd leave the fucking label too, and I wouldn't want to work with him now. Whether or not this is true, I cannot say, though I'm inclined to believe that the parties involved are likely telling the truth. I mean, why would Malefic lie? You know what I mean? And I'm sure Rest has got some choice words about Blake Judd, so would Imperial from Krieg. Now, all 5 of these bands on their own are one-man black metal projects. The cool thing about the Twilight self-titled album is the way that it's put together. We're going to get into it here, but that album to me is absolutely stellar. So let's just get into it. Coming in at number 3, because they only put out 3 albums and then they have a compilation, Beneath the Trident's Tomb, released in 2014 on Southern Lord Records. This was more of an industrial metal record, with black metal being the bare bones of this release. And it's very disjointed and doesn't feel very cohesive to me. It's not a terrible album by any means, but when it comes to the masterpiece that is the self-titled, it doesn't hold up, and that's why I only own the self-titled Twilight album. Because the other 2 to me were kind of just weird, and they weren't really as passionate as the self-titled release was. Now, that's likely due to the disbanding of Malefic and Hildolf leaving the band, because on the Twilight album, the self-titled, they brought so much to that project, and I feel like there was a lot more authenticity and a lot more creative power and emotions flowing through that album. However, on Beneath the Trident's Tomb, we do get some black metal, so to speak, but the industrial elements are well done. It just feels very discombobulated and very out of place in the rest of the discography. Not a bad album, but not one of the greatest. Coming in at number 2, Monument to Time End, released in 2010 on Southern Lord Records. This one was kind of the middle ground between the black metal aesthetics, atmosphere, and overall sound of the self-titled and the industrial sound that we would get on the final album, and it's in the middle. It meets in the middle on many levels. It's a great album, Monument to Time End. I don't have it. I'm thinking about getting it because I actually do enjoy this one quite a bit, and I'd love to review it here on the channel because I have reviewed Twilight self-titled, which was one of the first videos I did when I started this channel a year ago. It's a good album, however, there are parts that are inconsistent, but there's some really powerful tracks on it as well that really hold up and bring that passion and emotion that the first album had that I feel is intact here, but again, kind of went into that industrial territory a little bit too much, but it's still a solid offering, was Monument to Time End. Coming in at number 1, of course, we have the Twilight self-titled debut album with all 5 of these guys, Leviathan, Xasthur, Krieg, Draugar, and of course Nachtmystium. This album is so fucking terrifying when you first listen to it that I remember hearing Woe is the Contagion, which being one of the most terrifying black metal tracks I'd ever heard. This is an album full of conviction, darkness, hatred, suicidal misanthropia, and of course despair. And it's augmented so well on this record that it might sound a little bit discombobulated at first, but when you listen to it as a whole and you listen to it enough, you can tell that all 5 of the members had creative input equally, though some tracks do stand out from one another in terms of their individual efforts, as in there's a bit more Xasthur influence in some tracks, there's a bit more Draugar influence, Leviathan influence, Krieg, and Nachtmystium. But when it's all combined together, you can really tell that these guys worked very, very hard at putting this together. However, for the creation of this album, the band members actually emailed songs back and forth and then added the vocals, which is a really strange way to work on the album. However, they said that this was the best way of doing it because at the time, and still to this day, most of them are still pretty much isolationists. So it's a very solid offering, and if you haven't seen my review of it, you can check it out. This is the best Twilight album out of the 3, my number 1, and it's fucking incredible, powerful, and amazing. Came out in 2005 on Total Holocaust Records in collaboration with Southern Lord. And this is an album that you definitely should get for your collection. Hell, if you like the other 2 records as well, I can recommend both of them. Monument to Time End, though, is a lot better than Beneath the Trident's Tomb. So if you want to skip out on Beneath the Trident's Tomb, you're not going to be missing too much, as Monument to Time End is good, but the self-titled is a fucking masterpiece of misanthropic, suicidal black metal. So make sure you guys check that out. So there you have it, another album ranking in the books here on Music of Destruction. And hey, if you're new, make sure to smash that subscribe button, turn on the bell so you don't miss anything. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Music of Destruction. Join the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Music of Destruction. The Seed, episode 26, History of Death Metal Part 2, up on Patreon. Working on the conclusion of that right now, and it's been a lengthy process because I got a lot of stuff coming for Part 3, which is going to conclude it. If you'd like to support the channel, patreon.com/Music of Destruction. Select the $5 tier. Get access to these podcasts right now. For $1 a month, you'll get shoutouts on my channel and possible, maybe, channel collaborations if you have a YouTube channel, of course, and I'll review anything you want within reason, no slam or deathcore. Your support goes to new things like equipment, lighting, cameras, bigger green screen, better computer software, better computer hardware, sorry, and stuff like that. So thank you very much for your support. Colton James and myself doing our first movie review for Reviews on the Run coming up. Once we get the right equipment, like I just mentioned about the Patreon support, we're looking into getting some really awesome cameras that are going to be shooting in 4K at 60 frames per second, but they're going to be actual digital recorders, so that's what your support's going to go to, although him and I are working, so we're saving up to get this stuff. It's going to be a great channel. I'm really looking forward to bringing that YouTube channel to you guys. We're going to be doing movie and game reviews, so here's a clip of what you can expect.
I can't think of a thing to say. Fuck it.
You're a fucking natural!
And we are back. Shoutouts to some great metal brothers in the YouTube community. Metal Bands Chronicles, King of Swords, Acid Metal, Backwards Metal. Make sure you go subscribe. To all my great friends, have a great night. We'll see you for Album Review Tuesdays tomorrow with some Silencer. Death Pierce Me. I finally got that in the mail. Lots of great content coming. Have a great night. Stay fucking metal. Cheers, everyone.